In the beginning there was nothing, no earth, no sky, no sun, only darkness. But God spoke, "Let there be light." And there was light, and God saw that it was good. God separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. And so the first day was complete. Then God said, "Let there be a sky to separate the waters above from the waters below." And it was so. God gathered the waters into seas and let dry land appear. Then he made the land burst with life, trees, grass, and flowers of every kind. Then God placed the sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night. He scattered the stars across the heavens. Next, God filled the oceans with fish and the sky with birds of every color and shape. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures." And the land came alive with animals of all kinds. But God saved his greatest creation for last. He formed man from the dust of the earth and breathed into him the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Seeing that man should not be alone, God created woman from his side, a perfect companion. God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. On the seventh day God rested, blessing his perfect creation. On the second account of creation, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. On the sixth day of creation, God made man in his own image. From the dust of the ground he formed Adam and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. God placed Adam in the Garden of Eden, a beautiful paradise filled with every kind of tree that was pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam that he could eat from any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If he ate from it, he would surely die. Seeing that it was not good for man to be alone, God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and while he slept, God took one of his ribs and formed a woman, Eve. She became Adam's wife and helper. They were both naked and felt no shame. The serpent, who was more cunning than any of the animals God had made, came to Eve and asked, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden." But God said, "You must not eat fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die." The serpent said, "You will not surely die. For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful and desirable for gaining wisdom. She took some and ate it. She also gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it too. Then their eyes were opened, and they realized they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together to make coverings for themselves. When they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden, they hid among the trees. But God called out, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam said, "The woman you put here with me. She gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Eve said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Then God pronounced judgment. To the serpent he said, "Cursed are you above all animals. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly increase your pain in childbearing. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat of it all the days of your life. For dust you are, and to dust you will return." God made garments of skin for Adam and Eve and clothed them. Then he banished them from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which Adam had been taken. He placed cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. After Adam and Eve were banished from the Garden of Eden, they had two sons. The firstborn was Cain, and the second was Abel. Cain became a farmer working the land, while Abel became a shepherd caring for flocks. One day, both brothers brought offerings to God. Cain brought fruits and crops from his fields, while Abel brought the best portions of his firstborn sheep. God accepted Abel's offering but rejected Cain's, because Abel gave from his heart with faith, while Cain's offering was not given in the same spirit. Cain became angry and jealous of his brother. God warned him, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, you will be accepted. But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Ignoring God's warning, Cain lured Abel into a field and killed him out of jealousy. Later, God asked Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God already knew what had happened. He said, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." As a punishment, God cursed Cain, making the land unfruitful for him. He was condemned to be a wanderer on the earth. Cain cried out, saying, "My punishment is too great. Anyone who finds me will kill me." But God, in his mercy, placed a mark on Cain to protect him from being killed. Cain then left God's presence and went to live in the land of Nod, east of Eden. In the days after Adam and Eve, and after Cain and Abel, humanity began to multiply across the earth. But as their numbers grew, so did their wickedness. Violence and corruption filled the land, and the thoughts of men were only evil, continually. And the Lord looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their ways. And the Lord said, "I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the earth, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them." But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. He walked with God. And God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch." God gave Noah detailed instructions for the ark's construction, its length, breadth, and height, a great vessel of safety amidst the coming storm. "And behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you." Noah obeyed all that God commanded him. He built the ark as instructed and gathered his family, along with pairs of every living creature, male and female, to preserve life. Then the rains began to fall. Torrents poured from the heavens, and the fountains of the deep burst forth. For 40 days and 40 nights the waters rose, covering the mountains and sweeping away all living things that walked the earth. But Noah, his family, and all the creatures aboard the ark were safe, and the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Then God remembered Noah and caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. The ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. After months of waiting, Noah sent forth a raven and later a dove to find dry land. And when the dove returned with an olive leaf in its beak, Noah knew the waters had receded. God spoke to Noah, "Go forth from the ark, you and your family, and all living creatures with you, so that they may abound on the earth, be fruitful, and multiply." Noah built an altar and offered sacrifices to the Lord, and God blessed Noah and his sons, promising that never again would he destroy all life by a flood. As a sign of his covenant, he placed a rainbow in the sky, and so, from Noah and his family, the earth was repopulated, and the covenant between God and mankind was established. In the generations after the flood, the earth was once again filled with people. They all spoke the same language and shared the same words. United in speech and purpose, they journeyed together from the east until they came upon a wide and open plain in the land of Shinar. There they chose to settle. One evening, as the firelight danced among the gathered people, their leaders spoke boldly. "Come," they said, "let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly." So they did. They had bricks for stone and bitumen for mortar. And as their strength and ambition grew, so did their plans. "Let us build a city," they declared, "and a tower whose top may reach to the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered across the face of the earth." And so, with one voice and one vision, they built. Brick by brick, the tower began to rise, its shadow stretching far across the land. The people were proud, confident in their unity, fearless in their mission. A monument to human ambition began to pierce the sky. But the Lord looked down from heaven. He saw the city. He saw the tower the children of men had built. And he said, "Behold, the people are one, and they all have one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. Nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." And the Lord came down. In a moment their voices turned to confusion, words twisted on their tongues. Friends became strangers. Builders could no longer understand one another. The city that once echoed with harmony now trembled with frustration and division. The work ceased. The tower stood incomplete, abandoned, a monument to pride and shattered unity. And the Lord scattered them from there, across the face of all the earth. The city was left behind, and they called its name Babel, because it was there that the Lord confused the language of the whole world.